Good afternoon, Dr. Tabela. How are you, sir?
I'm doing very good, my brother, Mr. Sonawundaba. I'm fine, and thanks for calling us to attend to this interview.
Yes, it is going to be a conversation. Our existence is to disseminate information and ensure that people in the rural and townships and peri-rural areas, Mahayeng, Kasesu, they must have access to this information.
That's correct.
Without us disseminating this information to our African brothers and sisters, Omahaying, they will never know why they have to do certain things and why those things get done. I know there's a lot of people that are out there that want renewable energy, but they don't get proper advice. They don't talk to people that have got interest of the human race or sichaba. They've got individual interest of making a quick buck. We talk about renewable energy. We always, these days, climate change, climate preserving the ozone layer and making sure that we don't corrode the climate and damage the climate further. Those
Yes.
are the type of discussions that are happening these days, and I'm happy to have a brother who plays in that space.
Thank you.
We're going to give you an opportunity to introduce yourself, Dr. Tlabela, and then do a quick presentation that you've promised you're going to give us, and then we can have a conversation afterwards.
Tobel, thank you very much for that very articulated introduction. My name is Mamoloto Tlavela from Mamoloto Technologies, which is trading as Solar PV 4.0, in line with the Revolution 4.0 IR. And then we are here to give you a synopsis of what is happening in the renewable space. We can talk about a number of them, but today we chose to speak about solar PV. PV standing for photovoltaic. There is wind, there is hydrogen, and others, but we specifically today going to talk about solar. We have got a value proposition which says by using solar technology, we offer high quality renewable energy solutions to our customers, meaning the residential, commercial, as well as industrial, to ensure that there is sustainability in terms of energy supply and also reliable, unlike other sources. I can go further and talk about the total value proposition. We offer an integrated end-to-end reliable solution, meaning from the beginning all the way to the end. And then we do installation, maintenance, real-time monitoring of PV systems that we installed, and then all our products and services are compliant and as well as competitive. In short, I didn't want to go to the vision and mission because some people can also just view here at the back. We've got the vision and vision behind me on the board there. I just wanted us to move forward. But before I go,
Dr. Tabela,
Babel,
please go through the vision, my brother. Go through the vision.
oh, I must go through the vision.
Yes.
You got me there, but it's fine. Our vision is to innovate and develop integrated solution for electrical energy users while adhering to environmental as well as technological advances. The issue of environment there, if I want to unpack it a little there, is to say we want to save the environment, as you alluded to earlier, to say the rising sea levels are as a result of climate change. So we want to cap that, which is at a more tertiary level, to say we want to get rid of fossil fuels while by using renewable energy, which will never be depleted. So that's why we are doing that. And the technological advances is that if we go to industrial revolution 5.2 or 5.1 or 4 point anything behind that will be actually be available to advance to that, as already we position ourselves as solar PV 4.0. Very soon, once we get new PV modules that are maybe 50% efficient, we may innovate and go to 4.1. It depends as we go further. So our vision and mission are aligned to the future in actual fact. You want me to go to the mission? We want to be a leading fourth industrial revolution company that manufactures, installs solar PV systems which are reliable and safe. So basically, that is what we want to do in short. And then we have got two services that we provide: fourth industrial revolution technologies, as well as solar PV energies or technologies. So there is a number of systems that we install. One is grid tie or hybrid, and the other one is off-grid. For this particular exercise, I just gave you a small snapshot of an off-grid option, which is totally independent from the grid, meaning if it's a grid tie, you still depend on the municipality or the utility like Eskom, because you don't have a backup battery. So you can only use the services of solar or radiance from the sun when the sun is out. Once the sun is off, the grid, your system also goes off. The same thing happens when there is power failure from the utility. You are likely to be off. So it's a simple one. It's a grid tie. It's most cheap. It just saves you money. The hybrid system, by its virtue of saying it's hybrid, it uses both the batteries that takes from the sun when it sets, and then waiting for the sun to rise the following day. The cycle continues on and on. Should the battery run flat at night, or when it runs flat when the sun is not there, Eskom or the utility will kick in and save you for that small period. It's one of my best solutions that we are installing currently. The off-grid system, which I did not show here, is actually where there is no grid at all, by the virtue of saying off-grid. There is no grid at all ko Magaeng, ko Limpopo, or ko Eastern Cape, where we install a battery bank which is charged by the sun. At night, the battery takes over. In the morning, the sun takes over. The cycle goes on and on. It's a little bit expensive because the batteries, what we call battery energy storage system, BESS, is more expensive currently. While the PV modules are coming down by price, the batteries are going up. So it's one of those. We never installed one because most people want it, but because of the price is a little bit high, we only use the hybrid, which is one of the best that you can utilize. The drawing on the right there, it shows you still have got Eskom. You go through an inverter, you put into a hybrid inverter, you put into a hybrid inverter, and then you supply the load. So it gets from the hybrid as well as from Eskom or the utility, so that you are always having power all the time, uninterrupted, reliable. And further to say, most of our hybrids, our inverters are called pure sine wave. So if it promises to give you 220 volts, it will never go to 225 or 190 something. It's always up to par. So there are no surges. Your instruments or your gadgets at home, or your TV, your microwave fridges will never have surges, so that they won't be damaged. So it's one of the things that we pride ourselves to. Here, what we did, we took a baseline of 2007 to 2019, looking at when Eskom, after the load shedding, when they decided to increase their capacity by taking from the consumers, increasing at a 15% tariff rate. Chances are it went up at one time and it went down. But this we modeled it. Looking at it, inflation is growing on the red line, or what the inflation linked the CPI, and then with ESCOM it went up. So if you were paying in 2007, you were paying about just over 100 rand per unit. You are likely to pay in 2019, you are likely to pay just under 600 rand. So that is also a case study to say, if this is the case, then why are you depending on ESCOM while you can generate from the free sun by investing in solar PV, and then including what all the characteristics that I've already mentioned. And then we did a two-point analysis, indicative solar savings, to say if you take that particular decision to install your solar in your house, there's two options. If you want to do the so-called grid tie, which does not have batteries at all, you are likely to save 40% of your savings in terms of your electricity, because sunrise to sunset, you will be using solar. Only at night, you are likely to use ESCOM or the utility. So if you are having an office, you realize that I want to save money, this is one of the best opportunities you can do without investing too much into battery space. But if you are like a household, you know, during the day, there's no any activities, you have more activities after hours when the sun sets, you have to put in a battery. Again, during the day, your geyser, your critical load like your fridge will be run on solar. At night, you'll kick over to the battery. You're saving massive money. Here, our two-point analysis shows 70% independent from there. In rands and cents, it's self-explanatory. We modeled it over a 5-year period. 5.1 is the first year of the 5 years. If you were on, you were paying just half a million from for your electricity, and then you move over to 70% savings, you are likely to go over 1.2 million. But over a period of 5 years, year 5, you are likely to be at over 3.5 million savings with regard to 70% independent using the battery. So it's a very good analysis that we put in for all consumers. Of course, if they use it, they will benefit from our gadgets, services, and products. Right, I spoke more about the problems. Let me talk about the benefits. I don't want to go to tertiary level, global warming, melting ice, and all those sorts of things. Most people want to know what happens at their level. Number one, the solar system, once it's installed, you are likely not to have shack fires. As you know, shack fires are formed by things like paraffin and candles. So there you are gone. You are safe. You will never have shack fires. Number two is that the sun will never be depleted. So you can use it over and over, hence the word renewable. Again, because it does not emit toxic substances like carbon, your health within your environment is better thereof. That is environmentally friendly. And further to say, no more tshwanereatima, if I may use that word. So because you are independent from electricity, or Joburg, maybe I should go to Joburg. And then further to say, the inconvenience caused by cable theft, we know our social ills in South Africa. There are no more inconvenience because of power failure and what have you. Your system is attached to your house. Cables are actually inside the wall. You free from power failures. No more load shedding. When they say load shed, you actually will like to say, let ESCOM load shed so that I can display my power of electricity. Another thing is that our system, we create local jobs. When we go out, we take our team, but for taking the panels over onto the roof, we normally employ local people so that they can get something for that particular day or that week when we are working there. And during our maintenance schedules, which is an annual maintenance schedule, are between August, September, October, when we do our annual routine to clean the panels before the dust. We are able to appoint locals to assist us in cleaning those panels. There's something for the community in terms of jobs and employment. It increases autonomy, empowerment, and resilience. I don't have to go further on that one. There is opportunity for education. The chances are even it goes far beyond. Imagine if ESCOM switches off your power when you are writing matric or your exam the following day, you not study. But with solar, you are safe. It improves human well-being and overall welfare well beyond the GDP. So those are terminologies that when we do analysis, we realize these renewable sources due to the community. Our product, as I mentioned earlier, it's a renewable energy integration solution. That's what we are doing, basically. We are doing hybrid, off-grid, inverter, BESS, and then we integrate the three to form a system, which we call a solution. And then first we do engineering and design, hence we call ourselves EPC. EPC stands for engineering, procurement, and construction. Then we create these particular products, a number of products like solar PV. Our target was to create solar PV in South Africa. We are still on that amid the issue of COVID, but we are still there. And then before we even give you a quotation, we offer consultancy by saying, this particular system works better. This one has got these advantages. This one has got these advantages. You are able to choose. Also to analyze your load profile in the past couple of months or putting a meter if you don't have any records of such, so that we can analyze your profile and design a system for you. We do monitoring, and that monitoring is at real time, my brother. It's real time. I can make a demo where we can see the climate at your place where we installed it. We see the weather, if it's raining or not raining, how much are you yielding from the PV, how much are you getting from the grid, and so on. That real time is there. We even draw graphs and give you a report from time to time. And then I already spoken about our annual maintenance program for the dust, to remove the dust. In actual fact, during real time, if there is issues like shading, like there's trees that do shading on our strings. One panel that is shaded kills the whole string. We are able to pick it up and then alert the owner to say, we realize there is shading there. There's two types of shading, low shading and high shading. High shading will be the clouds and low shading will be the trees. We are able to pick that type of system on our gadget remotely and advise otherwise. The same thing happens if there is still one of your panels. We are able to see that that string is not producing because panel A23 or whatever number we are giving is not present. Then we alert you to say, check if your panels are there, maybe a wire is loose or something. If the panel is there, then we come out and help your problem, solve your problem. So we have got this annual maintenance, which is in line with the SLAs that we did with Arab. I will tell you later about Arab and Subvia.
Okay.
We do energy management interface. This is a topology of our system. Far left is the PV panels. You can see the sun shining on it. The next one is the battery. Okay, let me go with the arrow. Then it goes into this big thing called the hybrid inverter. Is the engine. I'm sorry I used this particular one so far, but it's fine. The engine of the system. Then what it does, it charges the battery. You can see the arrow going into the battery and coming out of the battery, and it goes directly to at the bottom that your critical load. Your critical load will be your fridge. No one wants to get his food spoiled. So the fridge is always connected. In case your system is small, you install a smaller system and you want to improvise. And then what happens is, on the far right, you will have ESCOM grid. It goes through a blocking transformer there, a current transformer, to block if there is any excess current that you have to inject into ESCOM, and maybe ESCOM is dead at that moment, people are working, you may kill people. So it detects that ESCOM is off and it blocks solar. You call it solar block, so that you then inject into a dead system. You will kill our brothers. That ESCOM goes into a normal load. Your normal load will be your dishwasher or maybe your normal load. There they showed you a TV. Well, I normally put the TV on a critical load. And then also we have got this thing that at any given point, if you deplete your battery, you are likely to borrow energy from ESCOM through the inverter and charge your battery so that you are able to run until the sun rises, because this is a hybrid. It's so intelligent that it runs all those things without you seeing anything. Even your dropped calls or you are flickering on TV, nothing happens. It automatically does that. In actual fact, now when I was opening this, I just realized that we lost energy, and then the inverter kicked in my house just now. I had a sound. But the most important thing is the bottom line there, which calls monitoring. We put an inverter which is Wi-Fi enabled to monitor, as I alluded to earlier. So everything that happens on the system, we are able to pick it up and then be able to record up to the second. And then there are types of solar receptors and storage. The receptors will be the rooftop, which we want to align it with the azimuth angle and the zenith angle. That is top engineering, but it must be north facing at a particular angle so that it harvests the sun. You know, the sun moves from this side. December will be more towards us, and then June it will be far in the northern hemisphere. So it should be able to detect it while it's even far. Some of the other ones that are in service, we have got the sun trackers that follow that system. Those are installed in organizations like the CSIR, which use secondary engineering, or the satellites, which uses the tertiary engineering. If you have got money, you can put it in. It's not that expensive, however. And then there are the ground-mounted ones, which are used by solar farms. If you put a solar farm somewhere in Limpopo, Flora, where you are likely to have a lot of them, which is also north-facing. And then there is another one which is called a CSP, a concentrated solar power. There is one in the Northern Cape which has got solar in a circular, solar panels in a circular motion or circular diagram, and points to a sort of a tower and shines on that tower, and that tower generates electricity and takes it. But it's also secondary configurations, which we are still going there. We are not yet there. The storage, there's different kinds of batteries. What I want to say on this platform is two. Actually, I can say three, but let me mention two, which are popular. There is the gel battery, which is like your car battery, which has got a very short lifespan. And I'm going to warn a lot of people that are going to compare them with the lithium battery. The lithium batteries, it's a huge battery in terms of cycles. It has got 6,000 cycles. If you charge it and discharge it to zero, it is one cycle. You charge it, you discharge it, second cycles. So if you take 6,000, my brother, 6,000 cycles, and you say, I'm going to discharge this battery once a day, it will be 365 in a year. So you take 6,000 divided by 365, it will give you 16 years. So chances are it will outlive us, some of us. So if you compare it with a gel battery, gel GEL has got about 1,500. So use the same formula, you are likely to deplete it in about 3 to 4 years. Some people, because gel also has got a disadvantage of what I call a DOD, depth of discharge. Once it reaches 50% of its charged capacity, it gives you an alarm to say, I can't go further, charge me again. While the lithium has got a 90% depth of discharge. So those are the two types of batteries I'm going to give. There's other batteries, but normally we use this. And also to mention, if you allow me, that some people, you give them a quotation using a lithium battery, they go to the buggy brigade, my brother, the chancers, and they say, no, 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 it's fine. Tlabela is too expensive. I can give you the same system for 10,000 Rand less. You install it, goes away, couple of years, maybe 2 or even 6 months down the line, you come to me and say, Tlabela, I installed this thing, and I say, my brother, I advised you. So those are the things. So when buyers go out there, they must be able to have little knowledge of the equipments they are purchasing. Also to mention the issue of which I will go to it, the PV modules, the inverters, all those ones. It's like your car industry or your cell phone industry. They are top notch and they are entry level. So know where you are when you purchase this thing. Going to monitoring, okay, is one of those. These are just our receptors. This one is not clear, but let me talk to it. Here, if you look at the pink, should I say orange or pink, is when you generate from the sun. And the other side, on the side, is the gray ones, is the batteries that saves you while the sun is not there. So it's BESS advantage. If you don't have the batteries, when the sun sets, you are likely to go back and borrow from Eskom or utility. And most people, we know that we cook after hours. Chances are we won't reduce that much. So I'm sorry, this is not but it gives you an idea of battery energy storage system. Okay, how do we approach our projects? If you give us a project, first, what we do is we design. I mentioned earlier what we do, we measure it by putting in either a meter, or if not a meter, you have got your accounts from your utility. We are able to extrapolate on those figures there and do a load profile, then go and design a system for you. And then even though we purchase our inverters from advanced countries, we still take them out of the box from our warehouse. We put them over 24 hours, testing it in our laboratory before deploying them over to you. So once you say, yes, Tlabela, I want this particular system, we do test it. It's only on the engine that we test. The batteries, because it has got BMS, battery management system, it's perfect. We monitor it while on use. The solar panels are rigid. There's no problems. We just install them. Then we have this, after design and test, we drive all the way to your place. We build the system. The system is built in the following manner. The panels must look north, or they must face north to take into account the azimuth and zenith angle, as well as so as to harvest the sun. If your house is not north facing, or the roof is not north facing, we design a bracket that will be able to at least tilt to face north. And then after building, we energize the system. We show you how it operates. We give you your papers, including what we call a COC, Certificate of Compliance. We also register in the documents that we give that our company is PV Green Card authorized. We have got a PV Green Card number authorized by South African Photovoltaic Industry Association, which is SAPVIA. And then ARAP is another association we belong to, African Renewable Energy Practitioners. So we give you that certificate in case things don't go the way you wanted to. You are able to report us to our association to say, Tlabela installed this and it's not working as intended. Then they can take us head on in that case. And then from there, we manage your system. One of the important things I already mentioned, we give you viewer status on your app, on your smartphone, so that you can also see and show your friends how your system is operating, or monitor if during the day for some reason somebody decides to weld using your electricity. You are able to see a spark. Your phone will give you an alarm there to say, hey, you are consuming more than you are generating. What's wrong? Then you are able to see there, and then we are able further to say some of the inverters that we install have got remote settings. I'm able to adjust settings remotely so that I don't have to drive there. Some don't have. I must come on site and adjust the settings according to your needs. And then that's how we manage it. And also I mentioned the issue of shading. If there's any shading or anything, we'll also be able to pick it up, including our maintenance management plan. Some of the inverters are able to send us the CSV information. For big companies or government, they require such so that they can manipulate that data, .csv. Then it comes to us. We are able to look at how you are managing your create profiles for reporting to the CFO or the CEO and so on and so on. That capabilities is there depending on the inverter that we install or what you would have installed, required from us to install. Funding options, there's two funding options, but I'm going to talk more about the Opex, the capex, the capex. Let me start with the capex. The capex is like when you go, my brother, you go to the shop, spaza shop, you want to buy sepatro or boroto, you buy bread, you give the money, boroto you are high. But so same thing happens to us. We come, we install, you sign the document, we leave you in peace, no problem. What is binding us is the warranty on the inverter and the warranty on the battery. That's all is binding us, and our maintenance management plan, which lasts for if it's an Opex, it lasts for a year. If you are on a capex. On an Opex, or what you call PPA model, when we designed these slides, South Africa was moving, actually, not South Africa, Gauteng in particular, where we operate, was moving to creating a PPA model, power purchase agreement model. But what happened is some parties with us, with Subvia and Arab, negotiating with them, they negotiated in bad faith. The model didn't pass. You will know that the Constitution says only the utility must supply electricity. No person must supply. So if you supply either at that tariff or below that tariff. You can't say because the kilowatt hour is 20 Rand 7 cents, I do 21 Rand 7 cents. So there were some issues there, and it didn't fly. So the PPA didn't fly. The Opex will be between me and you, where I say, okay, give me 50%, let me install these gadgets. The other 50%, you pay me energy usage, which is a model that we wanted to move on with it. It didn't kickstart, but in Western Cape, it's happening smoothly, no problem. PPAs. We hope here it will come nicely so that our people can also access it. By virtue of saying that, if you install a 5 kilowatt lithium hybrid system, you are likely to pay 3,000 Rand a month for about 36 months. And after that, the system is yours. So we want to make it easier for the people. But there are some issues that must still be ironed there. Unless we get a big investor, then we can roll it out and then collect this money and give it to the investor. Also taking note that the PPA is not yet ratified to the fullest, but it's still ongoing. I don't think I should go too much on this one, but I can just say when we do give you a quotation, what we are going to do, we show you the payback period to say from day one until you finish paying your system, it will be so much. So you get your payback period, you have got your net present value at the end of so many years. We go as far as 30 years because the PV panels, the manufacturers claim to be having a lifespan of about 25 years. And I already told you about the battery, which has got 16. So they're talking about those things. So we are able to give you all this type of investment decisions that you can do, including the IRR, the internal rate of return, and so many things that we give you when we do this type of thing. On the CAPEX, not much. I can only tell you about the O&M, operations and maintenance, which is also limited because you own the bread in this case. The pros and cons of different configurations, I should have put this slide in the beginning. But nonetheless, if you are going to purchase it, the grid tie is the most cheapest because it has got no battery. It's only the PV system or the inverter as well as the modules. So if you look at initial financial investment, it's very moderate. And the payback period is very short because the amount of installing that thing is very small. And then energy dependence, no, you don't have energy dependence. When ESCOM or the utility goes away, you also switch off. Battery storage, of course, I already mentioned you do not have. The off-grid, because the batteries are the most expensive, the initial financial investment is very high, given that the batteries are expensive. So your payback period should be the longest compared to the other two models. And then you have got energy dependence independence because you don't depend on anybody. It's only the sun which is guaranteed that it will rise tomorrow. And our modules, I didn't tell you, my brother, we have got two types, the mono and the poly. Later I'll tell you about it. We install monocrystalline. The monocrystalline, as long as the sun is out, it will start generating. The poly has got some disadvantages that it may need sunshine, that type of thing. So in this case, this is modeled on a mono. That's why I say, as long as the sun rises, you are free. And then battery storage, usually you have got battery storage because already you put in that a lot of batteries there. The hybrid, which is my favorite, is between the two. It's significant. It's long, not that long, but long, between short and long. You don't have energy independence per se because if you run short of the sun and your load is too big to be handled by the battery, at one point you are likely to borrow from the utility. So that is the tricky part of it. Is they use your emergency reserve, which normally comes late in the early hours of the morning. Like when you have got parties, you party until 2 o'clock in the morning. The likelihood is that your batteries may be depleted, and then you borrow from the ESCOM of that world. Of course, the batteries just got battery. Some of the people, what we do is they install. Okay, before I go there, our design is if I install a 5 kilowatt, I make sure that the engine, the hybrid is 5, the PV produces 5, yields 5 kilowatt, the battery is also 5, the inverter 5, the PV 5, and the battery 5. So some people design it that way, like I design it, and they run short of battery capacity because their load at night increases. We are likely to get another battery, the second battery, to make it 10 kilowatt hour battery. So what you do is our settings will be able to charge your battery by connecting them in series and parallel. It's more engineering, but you will fill up your batteries so that you have got more battery storage at night. In that case, then you avert all loss of battery storage. Yeah. Can I jump this one, my brother?
Yes, sir. Yes, Doc.
Yeah. This one here, I just show you pictures of ground mounted and rooftops. The top one is already inclined. You need to incline your PVs at about is that longitude? Yeah, the longitude, 29 in Pretoria. If you go to Kimberley, it's about 20, it's almost 30. If you go to Cape Town, it's 30. If you go to Messina, it's about 25. So you have to incline your panels at that, so as to get the azimuth angle and zenith angle correct, north facing. You see the one at the bottom there, they are lying flat there. So there you are not going to yield a lot of power there. After 2-3 o'clock, you are likely to have shading and not be able to get power. The ones on the right is the ones that are installed on the ground in Kimberley or somewhere there where it's very hot. They are inclined at 29 degrees or 30 degrees, depending at that particular angle. Our technicians have got a table or they use an instrument to be able to calibrate it like that. How does the on-grid solar roof system work? I've already explained this one. The on-grid is without batteries. So when ESCOM
Yes.
goes, you are also going. But it has got a bidirectional net meter there. Let me just talk about that one. Is that a thing to meter what you consume from ESCOM so that you can compare with your financial guru to say, hey, we yielded so much. Today, we expect ESCOM to only charge us for evening load, basically. I've got a big word, the balance of system. I'll tell you later, the boss further down there. Okay, this is just the .csv report and the OM when we get the data information through so that we can analyze it and come and do your O&M or come and say there's shading and all those sorts of things. It's detailed performance report that we issue every now and then on request by our commercial customers. Our residential customers, not this far that we get people asking, except when they say, hey, but every time I'm getting ESCOM popping in during the day, what will be wrong, Dr. Tabel? And I say, no. I go into the system, I realize, oh, the load that is connected during the day. Maybe they are doing the dishwashers as well as the cutting grass using electric machine. The load is higher than what they are generating. So to preserve, especially in the afternoon, to preserve the battery, the inverter says, if I take from the battery now, I'm likely to have, because the sunset is about to come, I'm likely to have no reserve for overnight. So let me borrow from the utility so that I spare the battery, because this is in terms of our new IoT or artificial intelligence or whatever you call it in today's fourth industrial revolution language. So those are the things that happens from time to time. I already said in this particular one, okay, this is the basic checklist. When you go and ask us a quotation, we send you this type of thing and say, look, don't you have trees in your area? Don't they climb on top of your roof? Check this one. What about the dust that accumulated? This is before and after, before installation and after. And then also we have got drones. Before we climb on your roof, we send up a drone to go and check your roof. One, specifically for our people not to fall inside because there's cracks in your roof, tiles are broken or whatever. Secondly, to preserve our site, to say we have got this video, your roof is like this, so that when we leave, you mustn't say, hey, it's leaking and blah 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 blah, because we'd have checked it. So that is what we are doing. On ground mount checks, we also do the issue of land and specifically the topology of land, because if you have it may create a shadow on the other one. So we level the ground so that it's purely level, so that we don't compromise our azimuth and zenith angle. Also the issue of the soil. Some soil generate a lot of dust, which will make us have problems with dust and maintenance issues. In actual fact, to be honest, the heat generated by the ground mounted, it's so much that it reduces the efficiency of the PV. That's why you need to elevate them a certain meter, about 1 meter above the ground, or even more, but without compromising that when the wind comes, it can let them fly. If they are too low, the radiance does not hit, so your efficiency will drop. So amongst others, we check all those things. There are some soils that, like the one in Garangkua, clay soil, is dark, so it absorbs more heat. If you put them there, you are likely to have problems. And then, okay, there's other permits and all those things. Tracking arrays, also I spoke about them. What we do, key timelines, we do assessment depending on the size of the system. Here, I couldn't put it in days. I put it in weeks for a commercial installation, which will take us less than a week to do an assessment if you have your municipal accounts. If you do not have, then we put a 3-phase meter or a single-phase meter, smart meter. We'll get a load profile. We do it for you. From there, we design. You can see it's over about a week there, because we put, depending on the number of inverters, we put them, we connect them and check them with our engineer, JP Pretorius. He's very good in checking those things. He connects them and simulate and make sure that the engine is ready for run. Then we come and we install. Depending again, there it says 2 weeks. Small system residential is 1 day. Poof, we're gone. And then we do testing and commissioning. Upon that, you pay us, we go away. A week later or a month later, we come with another team that must do the tests and do what you call COC. We don't want to use the same team to do check on the previous team. You know, the policeman doesn't investigate himself, brother, isn't it?
Dr. Tlabela, are you still far? Very far.
No, I'm finished. This is the last slide.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm done. Can I take it off?
You. You can take it off. Thank you, Dr. Tlabela.
Thank you, my brother.
Now we can have a talk.
Thank you. I hope I didn't talk a lot of engineering language there.
No, it's interesting how much we don't know and how much we don't know what we don't know.
Very good. Very good. Yes. Okay, it's fine.
And you've explained it nicely. For a person who does not know anything about renewable energy installation of a solar system, what does it mean to be on grid, off grid, hybrid? That was a very good explanation.
Thank you, brother.
And I'm going to ask you this question. There are a lot of talks in the media that many people have been defrauded, or they've been sold chalk instead of cheese. And these people have bought solar panels or the renewable energy solution because of the unreliability of ESCOM. But all those systems are not working. In your space, is there a way of, I know you've mentioned Arab, you've mentioned PV, green card number, but is there a legislation that governs what you guys do except the two bodies? Where if you've got a problem with a person, basically you can take this person and go open a case, or this person can be struck off, never to install again?
Not that I know of, my brother. Just to rewind a little bit. 2008, South Africa was hit by load shedding. ESCOM decided to install solar geysers.
Yes.
I wrote a document.
Those big things on top of people's houses.
Yes. I wrote a document while I was still in Tshwane to say this is technology dumping. I'm challenging everybody today to go to Alexander, to come to Nelmapias, Mamelodi, and look if those things are working. All of them are not working. The East saw an opportunity because there was free money, and they came and installed and dumped this technology. The same thing will happen with the solar technology, which the first solar panel was developed in 1941, evolved up to today. Yeah, 1941, yes. Which evolved up to today, and we only have the efficiency of about just over 25% on solar modules. So everybody who sees a chase will definitely go and create that particular thing and cheat people or rob people. To make matters worse, South Africa or South African Bureau of Standard does not have a testing lab to test the solar modules. That's another story. So we
So
comply.
who tests?
We use international standards. They actually
No,
have got a
but
letter from DTI
so
that
is there a
says
body? Is there a separate independent body that goes and tests, or you just using those standards?
we use those standards, we buy them as is from Germany, from Canada, from the East, all of them. So you will know, like in any business, people will opt for cheaper PVs and they rob people. Unfortunately, most of those people that rob people, my brothers, just to answer your question directly, they are some of the people that worked in the solar industry. They work for maybe Mamaloto Technologies for about a month and they realize, hey, this guy is making a killing. They go, we call them the buggy brigade. They go and open their own and they do a lot of mess out there. There's no law that I know currently that regulates that. In Sabvia, we tried to push for such. We're still negotiating. But ESCOM also on the other side wanted to, remember lately they were talking about I don't want to use the word monopolize, but they wanted to charge extra for people who have got rooftops. There was some mingle, something like that. So that negotiation is very, very slow given the issue of COVID. So once that is done, there will be criminal charges. But I'm saying if somebody signs on a COC certificate to say this system is up to scratch, by the way, a COC certificate is issued by an authorized electrician who is authorized by government. Then if I come and my electrician issues such a certificate and it's wrong, he must be prosecuted. It's crime.
Okay.
Those are the only thing I can talk about, my brother,
So,
currently.
so Arab and PV green card
Mm.
do they have teeth to stop these gray installers? Can we
Is
call them
the
gray installers?
we call them the buggy brigade.
Yes, bucket brigade gray installers like the products that have come gray over the borders or from anywhere in the east.
Yeah.
So, do they have teeth? Can they prosecute? Can they investigate? What happens?
No, they cannot. They don't have teeth. It's an association. Take a taxi
Oh,
association. Does it
okay,
get teeth?
okay, okay.
Both of them are association. What they can do, they can strip Mamloto Technologies of the PV green card. But there
If
is,
Mamuloto does not have a green card, what do they strip?
then he won't be okay. I don't think all the members have got green cards as Subvia. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yes, but what they do, there are some free courses that we offer, PQRS courses at Subvia. If you look up subvia.org, there is PQRS courses that a would-be electrician will have to go through that online test, and then after that go through a classroom type of test and get a certificate and get a green card installer certificate, so they can strip you of that. But a man in the street is like a taxi who pirate. It's one of those things. Until there is a law, we are stuck, my brother.
So there's different tiers of the solar panels.
That's correct, my brother. Three
There's
tiers.
first, second, third, or whatever.
Yes.
Which it's a product from which country that sits on first tier?
Uh, a lot of people will tell you a tier one is like your Maslow's hierarchy of pyramid. Ne?
Yes,
The top one is the first tier, the second, and the bottom.
yes.
What happens is a lot of people will talk to you about Canadian solar panels.
Okay.
So Those are the most ones, the most advanced solar panels. But there is the so-called PERC, Personated Emitter and Rear Contact or Cell, is the top of the range.
Okay.
It can yield up to 28 or even more. I never installed it because it's very expensive. Then you have got Canadian, you have got JA, then you have got Ingrid, you have got CSUN. The CSUN and the Ingrid are the second layer, the second tier. And then I've noticed there's a lot of them, the codec. And then the LG is the first tier. So it depends on the percentage. By the way, PV panels, their efficiency ranges from 14% to just over 25%. So if I yield 25% efficiency, I'm tier one. A lot of people talk about Canadian, and if you don't look on the nameplate when they deliver it, they give you CSUN, but they charge you Canadian. And it's very difficult for Subvia to go onto the roof and check if they installed what they wrote on the quotation. So among others is those things. But as well, the East, as much as they can mimic your T-shirt, any make of T-shirt, they can mimic the Canadian and sell
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Now, I know for a full system in the urban areas, in the bigger houses or suburbs, they say the solution can be anything between 160,000 to 250,000. For a 4-room house, a full system that can operate off grid, plus minus, where are we looking at?
First, before I answer it, let me give you an engineering lecture.
Yes.
Power equals current multiplied by voltage. P equals IV.
Oh, okay.
So ESCOM or the municipality give you a circuit breaker of 60 amps, correct? Multiply by 220 volts. It gives you power of about 13 kilowatts, 13.2 something. So an ideal house needs about 13 kilowatt to operate optimally without problems. A 4-roomed house or any other house. If it's a big house, they've got 8 amp circuit breaker or they've got a 3-phase depending on that. So this is an entry level. I'm not talking about an RDP. I'm talking about a 4-roomed house with geyser and all those things.
Now, but our lighter 13 kilowatts.
You consume about 80% of 13. So we can
80%.
go to about 80% to be safe. That is how we design the system. So if you take 0.2 out of 13, you're left with about 10 kilowatt.
Yes.
Now, I don't know if I must share you my prices, but there are
no, not your prices. Let's talk about average in the industry. You know the industry price, not your price.
In the industry, the pricing is like this from Subvia. The PV modules cost is about 55% of the installation. The inverter is 15%. The mounting structure is about 5%. And the BOS is about 25%. And the labor is in the BOS.
No, so a person can take those numbers and go, if Unali is got a quotation that he or she's got, and go look and say, okay, fine, that means this is how they've separated the quotation.
Yes. It's open on the website, is used there. So just to give an example, a simple on-grid without batteries, it triangles between 8 rand and 13 rand per watt. depending on area. Some people charge per engine, some charge by location. I mean, in Limpopo and Gauteng. So between 8 Rand and 13 Rand. So the cheaper one will be 18 times 13,000.
Okay.
You can do your maths.
No, it's for a person who's going to watch you talking. I'll come to you. You, my brother, you'll always do the maths for me.
Thank you.
Arlekani molfatsing.
All right. Then, Erike, before let's answer, if you need a 13 kilowatt for a normal house with batteries when you're independent from Eskom, then we are talking around 38 Rand and 47 Rand per watt. So you'll say, okay.
38 Rand.
Yeah. Yeah. And then these prices, my brother, they are not on gel systems. They are on lithium systems. The gel systems will be far less, will go to maybe as far as 5 Rand per watt. All inclusive. Yeah.
I hear you. Look, this has been very, very, very informative.
Thanks, brother.
I'm going to ask this question. You are not forced to answer it, please.
Okay.
Do you think that government must subsidize solar panels for people who can't afford?
Yes, a lot of countries are subsidizing. In actual fact, they don't charge VAT on solar products in most countries. If you go to India, they actually even subsidize. I think they give you up as far as 50% on this, because it's not only for your usage. It's number one in South Africa to reduce the burden on Eskom. Number two, climate change is upon us here in America. For instance, if you take all the emissions in America out, the world will be a better place. So it's more of environmental saving the future in terms of SDGs and all these type of things. So I'm urging the country, rather the government, to look outside and say, yes, these guys must not pay VAT, one, and also we can subsidize the home buyer, the solution buyers, other than the contractors. The contractor doesn't pay VAT, and the guy who buys be subsidized. I'll be glad to get that.
Yes, thank you. Before refer because your website is www.mamoloto.
www.tlabela.com. Tlabela spelled TLABELA. www.tlabela.com.
So if people want to talk to you, people want to contact your company, they need to contact, they can track you through your website.
Yeah, they can go through our website. We have got small challenges with the website this month, but to be sorted out. The engineer was going to sort it out yesterday, but it's still working. It's just offline we are revamping it now. They can do that, or they can send us an email. Our email is straightforward. Mamuloto.
I need okay, the email address.
Mamuloto.
Email.
MAMOLOTO.
Is Mamuloto
@tlabela.com. Those who cannot spell Mamuloto can type in solar PV 40 at
what I born. There,
But
I've put it there, so it will be permanently there.
I see. Thanks, my brother. We also have got a WhatsApp line, 24 hours, if they wish to get it.
Okay.
084
Okay.
607
Okay.
5129.
Neto.
Yes. 0846. Yes, exactly like that. Thank you, my brother.
So your last words, Dr. Tabela. What are your last words? What's your last few words to summarize before we
First
say
is
goodbye?
okay. The first word that I would like my black brothers in particular, please do not say that Tabela is doing solar, I'm going to do it. It is not as easy as we think. Approach it like Elon Musk. Approach it using first principles. If you use first principles, you will be the smartest person on this planet. You will never be rich yesterday. You can only be rich in the future. Elon Musk says, make be less dumb, delete unnecessary processes, simplify your design, accelerate your cycle, and automatically, and at the last, automate what you have. Automate what you have is having processes. And to gain processes, either join an incubator or have a business advisor who has been in the system to advise you going forward. Otherwise, the blue, the green ones, the orange overalls are likely to be your way. Because
before we say goodbye, let's play the jingle. One said technology, this one how. This one.
Thank you. Thank you, my friend.
I think in some, I need to say to you, Dr. Tabela, thank you very much for coming through. Thank the conversation, the information you've given us. It was very informative. I've learned personally on the conversation myself. Now I know what to expect or what to look for when I want to roll out a solar solution. Re a leboga. Thank you, thank you. May God bless and give you all the blessings and for your business to succeed. We need businesses like these, from our Black brothers and sisters to make a difference in our own communities where we're coming from.
Thank
We
you, my brother.
understand our needs, we understand our pains. um, so it having people like yourself, and I've known you for many years. I'm fortunate to know lots of people from your family. They are brothers of mine, and you are all technical. You all gifted in the hand.
Thank you, brother.
So all the best to the Tlabela environment or family and the community elihlaya mo yona. I hope ko magaeng kwa o ba bethela tsona tse.
Of course, of course.
My brother, thank you very much. This platform, whenever you want to come back and say something, please feel free.
Ke a leboga. Ke leboga go menagane.
Uh, Hopefully, people who are going to watch this thing, Paita is Pan African. It might be watched by people in different other countries, which is why it's important for me to put the information there. When hopefully this discussion and many other discussions that you're going to have, Dita untamo mzansi across the borders, these artificial borders that were set up many years ago. We need to. Africa is one continent. Let's go work.
Yes. Thank you, my brother.
Have a blessed rest of the week, my brother.
Enjoy it, my brother. My friends must just know that electricity kills. Thank you very much.
Electricity kills.
Yes, it kills. It's not a toy. Some people are playing with it, thinking it's a toy. No.
They must stop cutting these cables.
Yes.
Electricity kills.
Yes.
And electricity, when it shorts, it burns houses.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
Yeah.
I can't say on this platform, but you know what it does to other institutions.
Yes. But thank you.
Thank you, my brother.
Keep well.
Enjoy your week, the rest of the week, and your until we meet.